Hello, chat. Got a perfect one, so put it on me. Happy Wednesday, aka Witcher Day, or the beginning of our journey into my favorite game. We're gonna start the stream though, just by hanging out a little bit. I have some announcements, and then once we get a little bit closer to 7, I'm gonna do a little bit of a brief on uh like very high level of like the Witcher universe and like the events of The Witcher 1 and 2 that we need to know going into The Witcher 3. And then we will start. The main thing, and I'll mention this like a couple times, is I'm still working on like my idealized setup for being able to stream from my couch. Um, like I was trying to get like the webcam and stuff set up so that you guys could like sit with me on the couch and like I could have my capture card out there and like stream from my laptop. I got like the Streamlabs and stuff set up and like some of the widgets. Looks like the camera is like a little bit lower quality, and also because of where I need to have my laptop, I think I need to get a second webcam. And then I also realized that unless I want to have my headphones on, I also need to probably have a backup microphone out there because I wouldn't be able to use the PlayStation microphone if I'm going to be streaming through my capture card, because then I'm no longer streaming through the PlayStation anymore. The other thing is my capture card has been doing this weird thing. I think you all remembered when I was trying to do Oblivion on stream, is like everything was like darker for some reason. Like it was like constantly like making it darker. Um, and then all the widgets and stuff. So I have like a lot of things to set up. All that being said, I'm gonna keep working on it. But for now, it's still gonna be kind of like how the Octopath streams are when we start, which means that like some of the widgets won't work. I'll try to remember to like turn off the redeems, but like hopefully people will just know when it says in the title that I don't have my camera and that none of the widgets are there, that people will know. And ideally, I will get this working as quickly as possible. I do think it's good though because realistically this is like 250 plus hours of content. Once we go into the slower seasons, I guess I should talk through the plan actually. Let me just talk through the plan in case folks were not in the Discord. So I'm talking about this like Witcher thing. Basically I love The Witcher 3. Um The Witcher 3 is my favorite game of all time, bar none. Um, I don't even really like I know why, but I also don't know why it has stayed like the top. I mean, I just think it's a really really good game, and I became very attached to it when I was I guess in my 20s. I didn't even play it when it first came out. I played it when I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I digress. They just announced that a new expansion is coming out like 2027 sometime. And honestly, like this is just a game that makes me feel good. It's been a really long time since I've played. And I thought it would be fun to bring that to all of you, whether you've played it and you get to kind of relive it, or if you haven't played it, because I know it's a really big game. I feel like a lot of people have potentially not gotten to it. You get to experience it, or maybe you experienced it, but you didn't experience all parts of it. I'm gonna do a 100% completion run, or try to, not 100% completion in terms of PlayStation, because I don't know if I can do all the like 'cause I think some of them require you to like reload, and you know some of it requires you to like replay it, but like 100% completion in terms of like map objectives, getting all the Gwent cards, going through all the quests, etc etc etc. I'm gonna try to take advantage of TFT off seasons to push through like a lot of like the main story quests during the off seasons, during the times that I'll be like streaming the game more. um that means that there'll still be other games. Like I'll still be playing some TFT during the off season. I'll still be doing some singing streams. You know, if anything new comes out, if there's like a new indie game, like we'll still do all of that sort of stuff. But this will sort of be like the main focus. Um, Once that 18 comes out, we'll focus on that while it's out. And then similarly, once we kind of pivot into the off season, we'll do a similar thing. The one thing I wanted to call out is GTA 6 does come out this year, and I do think I've mentioned that I did want to play that. So I will at least play that like when it comes out on stream. I don't know how big the game is. I don't know how much people are gonna like it. I don't know how much people are gonna like watching me play it. So I don't know if that's gonna be a thing where I just play it for a little bit and get people hype about it, or if I play all of it on stream. We'll figure that out in November, assuming it doesn't get delayed again. But I digress. There will be a pause for that. All of this plan though does hopefully get us finished with like all of The Witcher and all of the DLC. Um, February, March, maybe April, depending on how like slow I am and like how much vibing there is, and if we ever have to take any breaks. I've been like meticulously kind of planning this to make sure that it would all work. So hopefully it does. Best news would be we finish early. Worst news is the DLC comes out really, 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 really fast, and then I'm like not done with everything. But I don't think that's gonna be an issue. So anyway, yes, that is what we were talking about. So for the next set 18 comes out in like 4 weeks. So for the next 4 weeks, we'll be doing a lot more Witcher. And yeah, I think on the nights that I play on the weeknights, they may remain, even once I get the setup set up, I might still do some like off camera stuff just to make it easier to kind of grind through stuff. But yeah, I'll keep you all updated, and I hope that this ends up just being fun. Um, I'm yapping because I'm excited, and I just like I don't think you guys understand how much I like The Witcher. Like it is a massive part of my personality. It's just not anything that I've ever talked about on stream, or I've like maybe mentioned it like here and there, but like I've never been like in a situation to be talking about it, so now I'm getting a little bit self-conscious about how I'm like, wow, I don't know if everyone needs to know like how much detail I put into this plan of going through The Witcher is. Like I have it down to like the hour counts and like predictions of where I'm gonna be in the quests and like reminders of what quests not to miss. And then I found this tracker of like optimal quest order so you don't miss anything, and I'm gonna use that. And then I also found this Gwent card thing tracker, and then I was brainstorming possible like redeems and goals and things if it ends up being fun. And then yeah, I've been kind of cracked on this ever since I decided I was gonna do it. I've just been like Witcher, 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 Witcher. And then today I was just like, how much longer until I get to play The Witcher? How much longer? It's nice to have something you love so much. Yeah, I honestly kind of like forgot. Like I've always known that I liked it a lot, but it's been a while since I've been like really excited to replay it, and I think maybe it's because now I have other people to share my love with. The last time I played it, because I think I've only played it through, like all the way through once. But I replayed it when it came out on the Switcher, just because that was fun. I don't remember how far. I feel like I got relatively far, but I don't actually remember. Um, and I played Gwent like when it came out, like as an app. I was pretty into that. Rip Gwent. Yeah, Switcher. It was low key kind of great. Playing The Witcher on the Switch was fun, and the port was pretty good. I had just like already beaten the game by that point, and I think the Switcher came out like not that much longer after I had played it because I was really, really late to the party in terms of playing The Witcher. I did not play it when it came out. I think it came out in like 2015 or something like that. Um, I probably would have played it in. I guess I wasn't like that late to the party, but I probably would have played it in like 2018. 2017 would be being generous, but it was probably like 2018, maybe 2019. No, it would have had to be 2018. It wouldn't have been 2019. So yeah, that's probably right. I digress. Okay, we have a couple more minutes until I'll start the brief. Has anyone here who's already here played The Witcher and equally likes it, or played it and like doesn't like it? Have any of you played the first two games? You know, it's actually really funny about The Witcher and me liking The Witcher 3 so much. Oh my God. So when I was in college, I first of all, there's two parts to this. First of all, I was dating a guy who was like, so I would have been a freshman, so that I was dating a guy who was like my like end of high school boyfriend. This was the one I've mentioned that I like started dating like 2 weeks before I moved to college, right? And I also was taking this like ethics class for computer games and cinema. So this would have had to, I would have had to be like my second trimester, my freshman year. I was very specific. I don't know why I'm like telling you the time frame. I'm just like going back to the moment. Anyway, um, I remember at one point I like walked into his room because like we were like from the same neighborhood, so I would just like walk into his house and I like went upstairs and I just like walked into his room and I remember seeing what like I thought at the time was like porn on his screen and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm playing The Witcher." And I was like, what the hell? And like I was kind of upset at the time. I was like, what is this game? And like, okay, The Witcher 1 and 2 did have some very questionable mechanics, and the more like we like got into that, that is what I learned through this conversation with my partner. And then I brought that to my class and we talked about it a little bit. Which is one of the reasons that I haven't played 1 and 2 because I do know there are some things in there that I don't think are great because they're kind of like distasteful game mechanic wise. I digress. It's a very funny story because fast forward several years, I start playing The Witcher 3. It becomes my favorite game. Like I'm like people would just buy me Witcher things like that. Like I mean I think I showed you all the mouse pad before. I have a Witcher statue. I have some Witcher pop mart stuff. Like anytime someone gets me a Witcher thing, like I'm gonna fucking love it. I used to have this Witcher shirt, but unfortunately I wore it too much, so it washed out too much. Anyway, I digress. Um, I was talking with this person and I was like, "Oh yeah, I love The Witcher." And they're like, "That's so funny considering." And I was like, "Dude, I know, right? But The Witcher 3 at least is like it's good." Nopers never did. Sorry, yeah, that was a really long yap. I feel like it was a 2 minute yap. Never did watch the Henry Cavill Witcher though. That was pretty good. Oh yeah, I watched the first couple seasons of The Witcher show because it's based off the books. I've read the books as well. Um and I watched it until the actor got replaced. I actually meant to keep watching it. I think I even maybe watched a couple episodes after the actor got replaced. I wasn't as bothered as I thought I was going to be, honestly. But it just like lost its heart. I remember playing maybe for 10 hours of The Witcher 3, but I only had mouse and keyboard and was into Overwatch at the time, so it kind of took a back seat. Oh, I'd love to read the books, but someday I love the TV show. Yeah, I didn't see season 3. I feel like a lot of people like it's really hard to recast a main character, particularly somebody that I think fans really liked because we all knew that Henry was like one of us because he was very loud about being a player. I have also like read random things online and I was never on the set. Like I don't know, like apparently maybe he was also a little bit challenging to work with, but I also don't know, like maybe he was just like advocating for the right things and like now he has this like title. It's like you can never really know unless you were there. All things to be said, it is disappointing because I did think he was perfect as Geralt. Like I agree. Like I just feel like he was such a good cast. And like I think I might have watched one episode with Liam. It's not to say that Liam didn't do an okay job. It's just like following up on something that people already thought was perfect is just never gonna be a good thing. He's probably trying to make it better, and writers have huge egos and can't handle it. Yeah, I mean, if I were to like put my like gamer shoes on and like just like think about the things that I would advocate for, I feel like I would advocate a lot for like sticking a lot to the source material, which perhaps they didn't want to do. Again, I don't know. I'm filling in so many just like assumptions and whatever. We can literally never fucking know. But yeah, that's my thoughts. During the phase 6 or whatever, so like whenever we finish all of Blood and Wine and we finish doing like all the 100% completion stuff, like we comb through and make sure we have all the armor and all that, we'll spend a little bit of time, if there is time before the next DLC comes out, just like exploring other Witcher adjacent content. I don't really know what that looks like, but I do have it in the schedule of like Witcher hype period. So, um and then I guess if I come up with any like goals or anything like that, any like goals that we unlock, we would do during the Witcher hype period as well. That's phase 6. It's not actually listed in Discord because if like awkwardly the DLC's like, we're coming out in March. I'm like, But yeah, I mean, I've thought of a couple ideas. I just need to like brainstorm some more, like particularly around like I could do a couple cosplays. Like obviously Triss is a very easy cosplay for me, but I'm very attached to Yennefer. That could be something that could be like a fun goal. There are a couple like fun random ideas I saw online. I just want to like take some time and put it together and also like make sure you guys even like playing this with me. Okay. But to be at least somewhat punctual, let's start our little recap. I don't want to um too many like spoilers for the other games, but more so like kind of like set up the world that we're about to step into. I feel like the Witcher story is very strong. It's all very connected. It's also a game that like a lot of your choices will make like a difference in like ultimate outcomes. Which is why there's like an optimal way to play. So, game will teach us some of this stuff. But I did kind of just like put together a couple of things to talk about in terms of like the universe. Um, so like what a Witcher is, like y'all might not know. They'll talk a little bit about it, but just like genuinely speaking, it's like a monster hunter. They just go through like a mutation process, and there's some story and stuff to that you will see kind of like through the side quests and through some of the people that we meet in our adventures. So that's kind of just like base. Um, Typically you'll see the effects of being a witcher just like from us playing Geralt. And you'll see like the types of potions that we're taking and the kind of abilities that we'll get. Those are all things that like were true in the books. Um, I feel like for the most part, things about being the Witcher are covered over the course of the game, even if you had not played the other ones. Um, let's see. At the beginning of the game, there'll be an intro cutscene that's going to talk about something. I don't know if they actually call it by this name, and I can't remember if they do. It's called the Conjugation of Spheres. If they don't call it by that, if you ever hear that, it's what the intro cutscene we're about to see is going to be. Ba 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 ba. I know that we'll talk. They'll definitely take us through like the current political. I remember that. And the only other thing to keep in mind is like there's like a lot of different factions. Um and I don't think I'm like looking through kind of like some of these other pieces that I pulled together. I'm like, I think this is covered in the game. I'm pretty sure this is covered in the game, and I think this is covered in the game. So the most important thing I think to talk about is really what happens kind of before our story is going to start. I'm just going to keep this to cliff notes because it's really it's only important in the way that it affects The Witcher 3. So spoilers for The Witcher 1. If you have not played The Witcher 1 and you want to know absolutely nothing about it, you might not want to pay attention for a while. Like, I actually don't really know because it does kind of carry over and affect the game state regardless. In The Witcher 1, something that's important to know is the game starts out with Geralt having amnesia. He's taken to like the Witcher school, which we'll see in the game. Again, I'll retract anything that's actually in the game that we're about to see. But is attacked by a criminal group. And I didn't play the game, so I might butcher this name, but they're called the Salamandra. The basic plot of The Witcher 1 is the Salamandra is steals the secret Witcher mutagens, which are like the things that make the Witchers able to have their abilities to create super soldiers. Geralt tracks them down but becomes entangled in a civil war between non-human rebels, which is one of the factions I was just talking about, the Socatil, and the fanatical Order of the Flaming Rose. At the end of the game, basically Geralt discovers that the Grandmaster of the Order of the Rose is behind the Salamandra. Um, so he kills the Grandmaster and he saves King Foltest of Temeria, which is very important actually. Um, and let's see, afterwards, an attempt is made on Foltest's life, and Geralt ends up becoming his bodyguard at the end of the game. So that's all of The Witcher 1 wrapped up in like a very, very tight summary. Moving on to The Witcher 2, it's a direct continuation of the story. At this point, Geralt is working for King Folstis, and King Folstis is actually assassinated right in front of him by a mysterious witcher who then vanishes. Basically, Geralt is framed for being the Kingslayer and is thrown in prison. He's broken out by someone named Vernon Roche, which is someone we will meet. So that will be a name that you will hear again. They begin an investigation, and it takes them across the borderlands into the divided kingdoms of the north, which is like another like area or like faction, where several other kings are being systematically assassinated. At the end of the game, Geralt tracks the Witcher, who is ultimately Letho, and learns that he was hired by the Empire of Nilfgaard. That's actually very important as well. That's one of the main regions of the game that we're going to be in, and you will see their influence. Um, to plunge the North into chaos, so obviously this is all trying to create some kind of war. So during this journey, during the second game, actually, is when Geralt starts to regain pieces of his memory. And by the end of the game, he remembers that a sorceress named Yennefer is alive and that he rode with the Wild Hunt in order to protect her. So he remembers this great love of his. It's important to note that in The Witcher 2, your love interest is Triss. For people who don't read the books, you don't really know like a whole lot about how much Triss knows in the situation. And I feel like you can typically tell there's gonna be like a whole you'll always see like Yennefer versus Triss stuff. You can typically tell where people come from based off of like what their preference is. Like if you've read the books, you typically have a different preference than if you played like The Witcher 1 and 2 and then went to The Witcher 3 versus just starting in The Witcher 3 versus doing everything because you get different context and you know different things about what different characters know and how they're kind of like all entangled in all of this. So the first actual Witcher game takes place right after the books when Geralt has amnesia. And yeah, that's sort of it. Not by sort of, no, that's it. That's literally a very quick summary of the first two games. Um, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it the controls are a bit janky, and like I said, there is some like there's some oddities, I would say. Some things that I find questionable about the first two games. But I do still think that the story is so interesting and the Witcher universe is just incredible, and yeah, I'm really excited. I will move over to the PlayStation here in a second, but let me order my dinner first. Are there any questions? I feel like I'm teaching a class on The Witcher right now. Are there any questions about The Witcher universe, or anything that we've covered thus far? Okay, let's see. Maybe I'll just get some fried rice. That sounds good. Yeah. Fried rice in The Witcher? How amazing. How amazing. I have my, oh yeah, I wanted to make a command really quick. Da da da. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. Command, new custom command. Witcher progress. Just Witcher is fine. Witcher. Chat message. Does Yennefer come up in the other two Witcher games? She I would imagine she might be mentioned, but I haven't actually played them. From what I understand about like the books and about the games, is she's not mentioned at all, maybe until the end, because one of the reasons that I've always been unfavorable to Triss is so Triss, if you've read the books, spoiler alerts for the books, um, if you've read the books, you know that Triss and Yennefer knew each other. You know that Triss knows that Geralt and Yennefer were together. She meets Geralt after he gets amnesia and uses his amnesia effectively as a way to get close to him. She knows Yenna's alive. She knows that she exists. Yes, Geralt has amnesia, but she could absolutely tell her, or tell him rather, and she doesn't. That's why they end up having like a whole like love arc, I think, in the first two games, and why most people who have only played The Witcher 1 and 2, if they go into The Witcher 3, they'll choose Triss because they've basically built a connection with her over the course of two games, because they've basically just like been amnesia Geralt, right? But Geralt in our game has his memories come back to him, so it's kind of like I think that's why it's so interesting. Because it's like, yeah, it's a well designed love triangle. Wish they gave Triss a better part in the show. I feel like they were setting up for. I think they were setting up for it based off of kind of how they were doing things. But I don't think they expected the show to have to end so soon. I don't even think they expected Henry to like leave or whatever. Anyway, this has spoilers too, so don't use this if you don't want spoilers, but I'm gonna be using a progress tracker eventually. I didn't make this. I was gonna make one and then I found one, so I've just been making edits to it. Yeah, it felt like they were planting the seeds. But I really don't think they expected that game to, or not that game, oh my God, that show to end. Like actually, I don't know. Is it canceled? Is it like full canceled now? Probably. I mean, I feel like everyone stopped watching once they recasted. Unfortunately. I'm gonna look it up really quick. I'm burning time before I move to my couch because I know I have to go off camera. I'm saying hello. Um, Witcher show canceled? Question mark? Is officially ending, but it has not been prematurely canceled. Netflix renewed the show for a fifth and final season to conclude the main storyline. Oh. But then people are saying they had originally planned for 7 seasons, but it's canceling after 5. But then other people are saying that it's not. I mean, they probably would have done 7 if it kept being super successful. Like, let's be realistic. Did any of y'all play Gwent when it came out? Like the actual like app game? I liked it a lot, but it was kind of hard because it was like a little bit different than Gwent in actual Witcher. Like not much. Like it was still the same rules and stuff, but like the decks and stuff were obviously fully different. Like different cards and like different things that they did. But it was fun. I honestly kind of regret not playing it more. I had a lot of cosmetics and now it's just like dead. I mean, I think people still play it. It's just not being serviced. I just played Gwent in the game, but I remember when it was released. Yeah, I remember when it had a beta. Wild. Wild and crazy times. Okay, anyway. I should probably move over to the couch so that we can get into game. Um, Late 2010s was a vibe. It really was, man. It really was. Once I start back over there, I will probably just make another announcement about the TV setup so that people like get that it's kind of like a temporary, except for maybe on weeknights, not temporary thingy-madoohicker. And yeah, the only other really annoying thing is y'all are gonna have to refresh stream here in a second too. So let me build my little notification. Trin is streaming. Oh wait, you know what? I should probably turn this into command too. I should do that as well. Why not? I'm right here. Hashtag no. Exclamation point. PS5. Chat. Chat. Okay. Boom. I'm not saying chat, by the way. I'm just I'm saying oh, I'm saying chat. Wait. Just never mind. Okay, I got a good one. Here we go. Okay, now summarize everything you just said into one sentence for Abyss. Everything, like everything I said in the last 48 minutes. Witcher, Pog. Game 1, Game 2 has a synopsis that's somewhat important. It's in my stream. I'm already at 2 sentences. Now I'm at 3. I failed the quiz. Witcher time. Okay, let me test this command. It's turning into a haiku. It really is, man. It really is. Okay. I'm gonna pop over there and we'll get started. I'm I'm curious if I will be able to like trick my stream into not like fully restarting. Like if I go if I put this BRB screen on and then I like turn on streaming from the PlayStation, will it just let's try it.